Good morning, students. Today we'll start again from the topic which we left in our last video. That was the concept of national income and domestic income. First, we'll talk about national income. What is national income? It is sum total of all factor income earned by the normal residents of the country during an accounting year. What is it? It is the sum total of all factor incomes earned by the normal residents of the country during an accounting year. And what is domestic income? Sum total of all factor incomes generated within the boundary line of the country during an accounting year. Sum total of all factor incomes generated within the boundary line of the country during an accounting year. Now, what are the important terms here? The first one is sum total. It means what these incomes are. These are the total of what? Of all factor incomes. What are factor incomes? You all know about the factors of production. What are the factors of production? Factor income. If we talk about factor income, we should know about the factors of production. So there are four factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. The income which we get in return of these factors of production is called factor income. What we gain against land, that is rent. When we use the land, what we pay? We pay rent. Then to labor, we pay wages or compensation to employees, wages and salary that we get during by the use of labor. Then capital. For the capital we pay interest. For the capital we pay interest. And for an entrepreneurship, this is called compensation to employees. Interest and profit. So we add these four incomes while calculating national income and domestic income. Whenever we calculate national income or domestic income, what we do? We add these four incomes: rent, compensation to employees, interest, and profit. Then we move forward. All these incomes are earned. There are two types of incomes, that are earned income and unearned income. What is earned income? The income for which we work, or the income which we get in return of our services is called earned income, and the income which we get for the sake of getting without any work, without any services, these are called unearned income. Just like old age pension. Old age pension is unearned income because the person is doing nothing to get this pension. What he is doing? He is just because he is getting the money because he is more than 60 years old or more than 65 years old. So this is the unearned income. It is just transferred by the government because the person is old and is not able to earn anything. So this type of income is not calculated when we calculate national income or domestic income. So these are the earned income. Then when we talk about national income, it is earned by the residents of the country. Now, who are the residents of the country? There are two conditions for them. First one is the people who lived for 1 year or more than 1 year in the country are the normal residents. The second condition is the person whose economic interest lies in the country concerned. If you are living in India, you pay taxes to any other country, or you spend all your income in other country, then your economic interest does not lie in India. This is not this will not be considered under the national income. Why? Because the person does not spend his income in India. When we say that your economic interest lies in India, in the condition if you spend your income here, you pay taxes to Indian government, then your economic interest lies in India. So there are two conditions for if a person can be called the resident of India or not. Is the first, the person should live in India for 1 year or more than 1 year, and the second one is that his or her economic interest must lie in the country concerned. Suppose if we are in India, then the economic interest must lie in India. Then if we talk about domestic income, then the important term which comes to us is domestic boundary. While studying economics, it becomes economic conditions in your currency, that is your economic territory. Suppose the ship of India is moving in Pacific Ocean. Suppose the aeroplane of Indian Airlines is flying in the skies of USA. Suppose Indian soldiers fighting against China or Pakistan, they entered in China or Pakistan and fighting till the start of the next year. In all these conditions, they will be called under the domestic boundary. Why? Because the soldiers of the country, they get salary in Indian currency and they spend in Indian currency. If someone is working in the Indian embassy in any part of the world, that embassy is the part of Indian territory, because at that place income is generated in Indian currency. So this is the domestic boundary line, what we understand as economic territory. So whatever income is generated in the economic territory is considered under domestic capital, domestic income, and the income which is earned by the residents of the country is considered under or is calculated under national income. Then we discussed about the conversation, how can we convert national income into domestic income or domestic income into national income. Now we will move further. We have revised our last chapter, last video. Now when we study further, you need to keep this in mind, that income is equal to production. Because we are talking about the situation where no one earns profit and no one keeps selling. Whatever we produce, that we spend, and what someone is getting, he invests all of the part for the production purpose. So there is no saving, there is no profit, there is no loss, nothing. So in that condition, income is equal to production. Because whatever you are producing, suppose the economy is producing soap, that cost for rupees 5. What is the cost of the soap? 5. Then what they do? They sell it for 5 rupees. Cost is 5 rupees and they are selling it to for 5 rupees. What? And this amount it goes to producer. Where is it going? Producer. Then again he is making soap for 5 rupees and selling it for 5 rupees. So there is income is equal to production. And in short we call it product. What do you call it? Product. So income is equal to product. It means domestic income is equal to domestic product and national income is equal to national product. So we can call it income or we can call it product. Both are same. So this was about the national income and domestic income. Now what happens that we talk about the concept of depreciation. Whenever we use the machines, the tools, they got depreciated. After using, we need to charge depreciation for them. So in the society, in the economy, we always require depreciation. That is a must for us. So when we charge depreciation, that become net. And before charging the depreciation, that is called gross. After depreciation, and before depreciation. There are the two concepts: net and gross. Net is used when you have charged depreciation. Gross is used when you haven't charged depreciation yet. You need to charge depreciation in next. So when we use these terms with domestic product and national product, it became net, national product, or gross national product. Okay, in the same way, net domestic product and gross domestic product. Again, right now we are talking about two sector economy. For what we are talking? We are talking about the two sector economies. What are the two sectors that we talk about? They are the producer and the second one is household. These are the two sectors of economy that we are talking about. Now we have the third sector also that plays its part, that is the government. That is the government. What is the role of government? Let's see. what is the role of government? Number one, collect taxes. Number two, pay subsidy. Number three, purchase goods. These are the three basic things that a government does in an economy. Now, what happens that they collect taxes on every item produced in the country, in the economy. Whatever item you are producing, suppose you have produced a soap, okay, or you have produced wheat. What government do? Government, suppose cost of soap is 3 rupees. Cost of wheat is 20 rupees per kg. What government do? Government collect 2 rupee tax on soap, and government purchase this for 25 rupees. Let's concentrate on first. So, cost is 3 rupees. Government collect tax 2 rupees. That becomes 5 rupees. This is called the market price. It means you cannot sell for less than 5 rupees. Why? Because 2 rupees are being taken by the government. You need to pay 2 rupees on per soap to the government. So, what is the market price of the soap? That is 5 rupees. Now we talk about the wheat. Suppose you grow wheat and government purchased this wheat for 20 rupees per kg. For how much? 20 rupees per kg. And what they do? They sell it on ration shops for 2 rupees per kg. For how much? 2 rupees per kg. For this price they are purchasing, and on this price they are selling. So what they are doing? They are having a loss of 18 rupees per kg. This is called the subsidy. What is it called? It is called the subsidy. Why do they take taxes? Why do government take taxes? They take taxes, they ask for taxes because they need to run the country, they need funds to run the country. And why do they pay subsidies? They pay subsidies to lower the prices so that the commodity become accessible for everyone. Everyone can access, everyone can get, everyone can take the commodity and use the commodity. So, after taking taxes or after paying subsidy, that becomes the market price. What it becomes? It becomes the market price. So, for how much price the thing, the item, the commodity is produced, that is called factor cost. What is it called? Factor cost. And for how much it is selling, that is called market price. What is it called? Market price. What we need to do whenever we talk about the market price, we need to add taxes and we need to subtract the subsidies. What we do? Add taxes and subtract subsidies whenever we talk about the market price. Okay, so we talk about gross, we talk about national product, and with that we talk about domestic product. When this is before the calculation of depreciation, that is called gross national product. What is it called? Gross national product. And after the charging of depreciation, that is net national product. Before charging the depreciation, gross domestic product. After the charging of depreciation, net domestic product. Is it clear? Okay. Now, when we add taxes and subtract subsidy, it becomes what it becomes? Market price. Earlier it was called factor price, cost. Again, this is the factor cost. When the government enters, it becomes market price. This is the factor cost. When government enters, it becomes market price. Again, this is the factor cost. When government enters, it becomes market price. These are the aggregates. Gross national product at factor cost, gross national product at market price, net national product at factor cost, net national product at market price, gross domestic product at factor cost, gross domestic product at market price, net domestic product at factor cost, and net domestic product at market price. These 8 are the aggregates related to national income. Now, how to convert these aggregates into one another, and the concept of real GDP that we take on the next day when we meet. You all are requested to note these properly, to understand all these properly. I am taking it a bit near so that you can note all these things, and you can contact us on phone so that if something you are missing, you can discuss with us. Thank you very much.